Hi, I'm Tyler Gibb, and I spent nearly 4 years drawing, recording, and animating a feature-length movie called Minushi. And I'd like to show you how I did it.
What do you want from me?
Oh, I think you know. You know very well what you stole from me.
As I was writing Minushi, I was doing a lot of sketches as to what the main characters would look like. In these early sketches of Trixie and Cal and Mr. Tinker, the other characters, you can see that there was sort of a progression in the style that I was going for, which changed quite dramatically until I had what I was really happy with. I think what surprises people is when they see Minushi, they don't really know where to categorize it. I get some pretty mixed comments about Minushi in terms of the character design. It's not like Japanese anime, where all the characters pretty much look the same, and it's not really like American cartoons, where you've got the chiseled good looks of the action hero, like comic books and that sort of thing. The characters are kind of an eclectic mix. I could have crafted them to look more like those type of styles, but really I just went with what came naturally to me.
How are we gonna find him?
The last letter he sent me was from Westlake. We'll start there.
How are we gonna get there?
We'll hitch a ride as soon as we get out of the city.
Sure, if we get out of the city.
Don't be such a pessimist, Cal.
The question of staying on model sometimes comes up with Minushi. That's to say that whether or not a character looks the same from one scene to the next. It's not something that I was overly concerned with in making the movie. And of course I'm aware that Mr. Tinker doesn't look the same in this scene as he does in this scene. I never really got too concerned about that. That's never really bothered me. I don't see the point. It reflected how I see things in reality, and the truth is, when I see people I know, from one day to the next, they don't always look exactly the same. You know, there's always little details that might be different. When I see people in different lights or different times of the day, they do look different to me. So when it came to animation, as long as the audience is able to follow which character is which from one scene to the next, I don't think you have to get too caught up in those details.
Right, so what do you want us to do with these two?
Take these two out to the desert and kill them.
Of course, there's more to creating a character than just figuring out what they look like. When it comes to animation especially, but I think in a lot of storytelling, characters often begin with what you call archetypes. Now, if you're like me and you're not an English literature grad, then you might not know what that means. But Vidya Lechman, who is an English literature grad, knows all about it.
An archetype is the ideal model or prototype upon which characters are based. And we see these characters adapted over and over again in movies and in stories. So you have the bad guy, which is synonymous with dark clothing. He often has a deep, raspy voice.
Find them before that army does. Do not damage the artifact. I need it intact.
So Minushi is obviously no stranger to archetypes. Even Trixie and Cal are pretty archetypical in their nature, being an odd couple on an adventure. But I think the audience likes archetypes. After all, that's why they exist. It's what you add to the archetypal character that develops their personality and really brings that realism to them.
Hey Trix, have you thought about where we're gonna go after we find Griffin?
We'll head for Fortensia.
Fortensia? Really? But we've never even been there. How do you know you're gonna like it?
No curfew, no giants, no army. What's not to like?
Recognize that voice? That was all Vidya. She played the role of Trixie in Minushi. In animation especially, voice is very important to creating a character. So for me, that was a very important part of the process. Being that I was working alone most of the time, it was great to have Vidya as well as my friends come in and add voices to the movie. It really brought a new dimension to the characters and helped them develop from what I had originally written on the page.
He had it out for me ever since we were kids, and me and Grip.
I find when I'm writing, sometimes it's easy to get caught up with the way a character sounds in your head and the dialogue you're writing. It may not be a literal voice, but you understand how the character performs, how the character speaks. And it was really great to be able to bring it to other people and to have them interpret it. Because sometimes they'd come up with a way of saying a line that was completely different from the way that I had it in my head. And I found that was a really engaging, exciting part of the process, to have that outside influence come in and really form the characters. And that was just a really great experience to have. It really brought a lot to the movie. And yes, this is just my bedroom closet where I recorded all the dialogue for Minushi. I had a tripod set up, a simple $90 microphone. The clothes are already hanging in the closet, and I added a couple towels, and what they do is they dampen the sound. They dampen the reverb. So you can record in a closet, you can yell and scream as much as you want, and because you don't hear the room around you, it sounds like it could be outside. It's a cheap way of turning a closet into a recording booth without having to rent out a studio.
Looks like a couple of kids want to cross our bridge.
Your bridge?
That's right, sweetheart. Our bridge. And if you want to cross it, you gotta pay the toll.
Come on, Trixie. We can find another way across.
Another way to cross? Hey, Jimmy, they want to find another way to cross.
There ain't no other way across.
In the next installment, we're going to take a look at one of my favorite aspects of the production process, sound design, where I'm going to show you how you take the sound of pebbles and turn them into the sound of boulders. And check out Minushi.com for more. Thanks for watching. Spread the word.